Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday, so you know what that means. It's Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That means it's All Verse Thursday. All Verse Thursday, where all verses are welcome. We come and the artists share their verses and their journey in their purpose, right? And so I'm really excited about tonight's show. I know for those of you who may have seen before, you say, Mark, you're always really excited about tonight's show. Well, I am, because we have phenomenal artists on the show all the time. And that's what you can expect here. Phenomenal artists that share amazing, authentic, vulnerable stories around their journeys in their life. And so we want you to tell a friend. This is your first time joining. Let me just give you a couple of instructions of how this thing works. So the chat is our friend. So, you know, we're talking to you, but we can't see you. We don't know if you're feeling what we're saying, if you got questions, if you like it, if you don't like it. We welcome all comments. If you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, please comment. As a matter of fact, if you're on, hey Sonia Wolf, I see you there. Boom. See, we'll even highlight your comment and give you a shout out. That's how that works. Homegirl, that's my homegirl I went to high school with. If you're on Twitch, you can have fun. If you're not on Twitch, make the switch to Twitch. Right? Make the switch to Twitch. Twitch is where it's at, y'all. It's a place where you have a worldwide audience. Not only can you interact with us, but you can you can do fun little things. You can cheer. You can subscribe to the channel. You can do a lot of things on Twitch, a lot of capabilities. It's an interactive site that's really meant to create engagement with not only us as the host, but as the audience. So let me just back up. Niyah Center. Niyah is our social empowerment center, which means which Niyah means intent and purpose, right? And so we're all about supporting people in living in their purpose. And so all of our programs are designed around that, whether they engage, educate, or empower folks around intent and purpose. The other thing that you want to know about the Niyah Center is that we have one formula that's consistent across all of our programs. Insight plus application equals results. So we're going to give some insight. Hey, thank you, Big Wolfie. I'm BIGG. Made the switch to Twitch. Awesome. We appreciate it. I made the switch. Okay, this is Sonya that made the switch. Got it. So insight, we're going to give you some insight. Then we'll share some application that you can apply to your life to have your life be different right away, right? And so whether it's our Sacred Space Sunday program, which is every other Sunday, where we talk about ancient texts and some of the sacred traditions that people follow, is an interfaith discussion where all beliefs are welcome, all opinions are welcome, right? And regardless of what those traditions or beliefs are, there's an application that can be applied to that discussion to have some results turn out. And that's the same format for tonight. The show is all about bringing verses together. And let me just tell you a little bit about verse. Verse is sacred, right? Verse, if you go back into the times before the internet and television and even the printing press, we had communities, we had tribes, and there was a person who was responsible for passing on the story, the history, the legacy, the sacred wisdom, and they shared it in verse, right? Many times it would rhyme or would have a rhythm to it. And so that's why a lot of folks associate poetry with verse, but it was not limited to that, right? And so we're going to bring you all types of verses on this show on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And tonight we've got two phenomenal women. I call them the Motor City Mavens, and I can't wait to introduce them. But before that, let me just go ahead and kick us off with a verse, a prayer, a scripture. You know how I do it, right? A verse, a prayer, and a scripture. So I'm calling this, Is It Time? And so there's a scripture in Haggai. Haggai's in the Old Testament, 1 verses 4. It says, "Why are you living in luxurious houses while my house lies in ruins?" Why are you living in luxurious houses while my house lies in ruins? And so the poem I wrote with this is I call it Keep on Pushing. Keep on pushing. So fight when your back is against the wall. get back up when you fall. When all hell breaks loose, it's your destiny. You get to choose. You call me, I call you. We push each other because that's what we do. I need you to live. You're all I need you to give. I am waiting for you to really come through. Not just stop in or pass by, but let the world know who made you and why. You call me, I call you. We push each other. That's what we do. That's that peace. And I'll just take us in prayer. Spirit of life and truth. All that is because of you. Basically, I've been so focused on my grind that some things have slipped through the cracks, Lord. I have a roof over my head and my pantry is stocked. I have some material possessions and my finances are getting a little bit better. But even though you've done all that for me, I need you to forgive me. See, because I haven't really been tithing my money or my time like I said I would. My spiritual being is anorexic. It's like, forgive me for passing prayers. I know they're quick, but most days I just don't seem to have the time for much more than just like Jesus wept. Amen. I've been a bit self-centered, Lord, and forgive me for not offering the homeless, the widows, and the fatherless or the motherless child my help. I could volunteer more, but Lord, you know how it goes. I pray that you don't treat me the same as I have been treating you. I pray that you have mercy on me and that you continue to extend your grace to me. I pray that you turn my backwards thinking around and set my innermost being right. If you must, tear me down so you can make me whole, but only if you need to. I prefer you just give me a pass on the teardown and allow me to get it together. Nevertheless, let your will be done. Amen. And so it is. All verse Thursdays, y'all. Woo! Woo! I'm excited. So I told you we had some awesome guests. Hey, Dana, why I see you. I see you. Good evening, home girl. Horace Clark, speak, brother. Thank you, man. So we about to jump into the show. I've got these guests. I can't wait. The first guest, she is, they're both from the Motor City, so I gave that part away already, right? But the first guest, she also is from family in the house, right? And so let me just do a little preview of something that she put together, which I think is actually really timely given what's happening in the news. And then we're going to go from there. Give me 1 second just to bring her in a loving way.
These sins. On the seventh day, a man with 7 letters in his name fired 7 shots into a car that held a dad and 3 kids. 7 bullets were too lazy to think of something else. 7 bullets were too proud to let him leave. 7 bullets were wrath. 7 bullets envied life and lusted for blood. 7 bullets were gluttony. They were just greedy. 7 lamps before God's throne, 7 stars in his right hand, 7 spirits, 7 churches, 7 seals to be broken. 7 times 7 is the number of forgiveness, but I'm 147,000 days dealing with this country's sins. 7 bullets this time.
Woo, that's that piece, y'all. Welcome to the screen. Welcome to the screen, my girl, F.G. Studstill.
What up, Rattler?
Strike and strike again. Hey man, I'm kind of biased. If you wasn't there, if you don't know Humphrey's doing it, then you don't really know it, man. I don't think anybody did it like Hump, right? Hey, welcome to Allverse Thursday.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, you got a homeboy. Well, he's my homeboy, but he's everybody's homeboy. He's sending positive affirmations to all of the praises. He's such a good spirit, man. And we travel in life as we grow. Thank you. Just like the piece I said, is it time, right? We need
Right.
each other to show up, not just pass by, not just pass by. Somebody says, "Tell your dad I said hello." It might be for me, or it could be for you. I don't
Right.
know. Yes, Valerie, I will do.
Yeah.
So all verse Thursdays, you went to Florida A&M. Let me
Yes.
just give some folks some background.
Okay.
Uh, Now, one of the things that I thought was really amazing, I mean, you have an accounting degree, so obviously, you're good with numbers and putting things together. You went on and had a really, and still have a uh, I was going to say illustrious corporate career. You can, if that word doesn't fit, then
Right.
okay with that. Um, you've written some books, you've had some journeys in life, but one of the things that jumped off, and particularly for a black woman, you said you are a Menson.
Yes.
I love it. But for y'all that don't know what that means she's a genius.
I
She
have my
not
moments.
just like when you be like, "Hey, you smart, you kind of genius." No, like she took the test, scored a certain amount, and she's get a certificate that says, "I'm in the Mensa Society." Welcome, welcome, welcome. So hey, that was a piece, 7 bullets. You did that. Was that just something you just did recently?
That was something that I did in response to, unfortunately, Jacob Blake in that situation. Uh,
Mm,
so sometimes things happen in life that make it hard to be here. Make
mm.
it hard to be here. It's been a rough year overall, but uh, that is a way to deal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of your rattlers says, "Well done." Said it right. Well done. So, why don't you just can you get the folks another verse before we move forward in the interview?
All right.
Show them, like she used to be go by Felicia, but now she's FG. Show them a little bit about who FG is.
Okay. I will kind of sticking with the theme because of what our brothers and sisters in Philadelphia are going through right now. Uh, Mother of a slain son. Truth be told, I wanted him to die. This life ain't made no friends to keep yet, and this world ain't no place to stay forever. But I wanted him to die old enough to know that dull, steady ache of arthritis in his knees was warning him of foul weather coming. I wanted him to die of boredom from being too long retired from a calling that lit his passions and stole his youth. I wanted him to die of grief when death took a woman he loved too much. I wanted him to love too much at least once. I wanted him to die a little, just a little, when he buried me one day. I wanted him to die with deep wrinkles and gray hair. I wanted him to die aged and frail, on a mattress imprinted with the shape of him, surrounded by 3, maybe 4 generations of children and grands and great grands that reminded him of me. I wanted him to die late enough to hear death coming without fearing that angel more than any other. I wanted him to die wise and way past wanting. Instead, he died wanting to know, wanting like me to know why you killed him. That wasn't my want for him at all.
That's that piece. That's that piece. What's the name of that piece?
Uh, one second, I'm having an audio problem.
Okay, okay. Well, that was awesome. Sonia Wolf says that she's from where you wrote. Deep perspective. I wanted him to die. Mother's perspective. Can you hear me now,
I
Alicia?
can, thanks.
Okay, awesome. So is that from this book here?
That is from this book right there.
So what's it called for the people that can't see it?
It's called Never Much for Small Talk.
Never Much for Small Talk by F.G. Studstill. Amazing. It's an amazing perspective, a collection of poems. And so you wrote 7 bullets a while back when Jacob Blake in Wisconsin. Um, I read this particular poem as I've been reading through the book. Uh, is this a subject that's touched you personally?
Uh, It has in a number of ways. Being a mother and a grandmother myself, I I am touched whenever I see what has been happening to our young men, and to see that struggle with authority, to die at the hands of our government
Mm,
without the process that is guaranteed us in the Constitution, breaks my heart.
mm.
And I cannot imagine losing a child that way.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean it's become all too commonplace. And you know, sometimes I wonder, I said, is it happening more, or are we just being made more aware of it? Not that either
Uh,
one is like a good thing, right? The
right.
fact that we're being made more aware of it. Dion says FG Studstill is an amazing writer, absolutely. Somebody has two copies of the book. That's how much they liked it. Um, and so you're from Detroit. Now, years ago, now, I'm from Chicago, right? And they and I hate they come up with all sorts of names. We got another Detroit person we're gonna bring on in a minute, but they call Chirac, all of these crazy
Right.
names, and the murder rates are ridiculous. Now, Detroit was the murder city a while back. This was, I don't know, I'm going back, I'm dating myself, the '80s, right? When
Right.
they had the title, but Detroit is a lot more than that, right? So
Oh,
how
by
does a
far.
young black girl coming from the Motor City, Murder City at that time, right? Because you were in school in the '70s and '80s. You coming up in that mayhem, and she's a Mensa. She's a college graduate. She's a corporate executive. Tell us a little bit about, and she's an author, right? Like how do you come from Murder City to FG?
Uh, uh, I had old school parents who were very serious about discipline, uh, and a praying mother, and a father that knew scripture and knew where his belt was. But overall, uh, it is like anyone's journey. It's not easy,
Mm,
and you get off the rail sometimes, and the goal is to get your way back to the rail.
mm, mm.
It is easy to get sidetracked. You get sidetracked, you go back.
Okay, okay.
So,
Yeah. Well, speaking of getting sidetracked, right? Because I want you to revisit this in a little bit more
yeah,
uh, vulnerability in a minute, because I want to talk about the program when we bring on our buddy here,
yeah.
the Daughters of the Migrant, uh, the,
Oh,
that's, the migrant
Daughters of
daughters.
the Great Migration.
Daughters of
Yeah,
the Great Migration. Wow, I killed
yes.
that one. There you go, Mark. Way to be prepared. So I want you to share a little bit about that in context with getting off the rail,
All right.
right? Because there's somebody that might be listening that could use a story because they think they're the only one that's got off the rail. They think they're the only one that ever drove astray or made a choice that wasn't the best choice that they could have made, or just like, how can I'm so there's a story, and without some other perspective, that can lead to depression, that can lead to suicide, that can lead to low self-esteem, can lead to all sorts of behaviors, and which could also end up in that person not being here. So we want to speak to that in a minute, right? Now, you touched the lady. A lady says she lives with fear daily, right? And she said she wouldn't believed it if she didn't see it. If she was in the in the demonstrations and actually did a speaking piece.
um, I'm actually having having the audio again. One moment.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think I got excited and pressed mute. I think I got excited and pressed mute. Yeah, we're gonna hear Felicia say another verse. Can you hear me now, Heather? Awesome, awesome. So see, that's what happens. I get excited. I'm pressing buttons on my stomach. When your stomach gets too big, and then you can't even feel that kind of stuff happening. So this is let me just bring her onto the screen. All right, Heather Buchanan. Yeah. Now, Heather is an amazing woman. She's an award-winning publisher, producer. She's a filmmaker. She's a digital a media mogul. She's a strategist. She's a poet. I mean, the list goes on. She's a humanitarian. She's an what do they call it? An academician, right? She's a bad mama jamma. That's what she is. She's a bad mama jamma. And so, Heather, welcome to All Verse Thursdays.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. And hello to everyone. Good evening to you this evening.
Yeah.
Nice to be here. Thanks.
Well, thank
for
you.
having
Thank
me.
you. And we'll bring Felicia back in a second. I know
Okay.
Felicia was working out her sound, but
Okay.
you are also part of the Motor City Maven, as I've designated this crew for the night.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, but are you actually from Detroit?
Yes. Yes. Lifelong
Okay.
Detroiter, born and raised.
Okay. Yeah, Ronell knows everybody. He says, "Good afternoon, Heather."
All right, right now.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right. So, and yes, we will hear another verse from
Hello.
Felicia. We absolutely will hear another verse. And so when we were talking about the show, it was really hard to say how we're going to bring you on, right? Because you've got so much that you've got going on, right? And you know, how many authors have you produced?
Well, I would say in my career is 21 year career. I think I'm right at about 40 to 50 of individual title authors, and then over 300 in terms of like collections, anthologies, and things like that.
Wow. Guys, this is real history here. Let me just bring our girl back into the stream. And so I believe that you absolutely published the very first FG Studstill book. Is that correct?
I did. I had the distinct honor of publishing her first collection, and it was beautiful. It really was outstanding. It inspired me to go ahead. I was like just kind of starting out, but when I read that, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. And I wanted to do my best for her. She's an outstanding poet and outstanding individual.
Yeah. Now, how many years ago was that?
Oh, I don't know.
About 15. We first met about 15 years ago. The book was published about 12 years ago.
Okay.
Wow.
15.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Now, okay, so just give us some perspective. What was going on in your life 15 years ago? You're deciding if you're going to follow this publishing career.
Oh,
FG, you're deciding if you're going to do art or this is just something. Give us a little bit around what's happening for you 15 years ago, and then we're going to time step it up to the next piece.
Yeah, let's see. Well, 15 years ago, I was getting into publishing. I was in a writers group called the Detroit Writers Guild, and it was like a grassroots organization. And I learned a lot. I started out as a college student and grew up in the ranks, and I was given more responsibilities. And eventually I became the executive director. Long story short, I learned a lot about publishing, and I said, I think I really want to do this as a career. So, but I was also teaching at, universities and things as an adjunct part-time to pay the bills.
You were you a U of M grad?
Yes, yeah, go blue.
Yeah, okay, awesome. And then FG, what about you? What were 15 years ago?
So 15 years ago, I was writing a lot. a lot of poetry, dabbling in short stories, and on a whim, I entered a contest, and it was a Wayne County Writers Among Us competition. And I entered a poem, and I got second place, and Heather was one of the judges, and that's where we met. And she asked for a
Beautiful.
manuscript, and I said, "Sure, I'll get your manuscript in a couple months." And then it's like, "Oh my gosh, I got to put manuscript together." So, like,
Hey, well,
2 months later.
well, sometimes it's that outside inspiration, right? Because
Right.
motivation is internal. That inspiration that says, "Oh, okay, let me
That's
go ahead
right.
and get it." Somebody says, "Now this year, everybody knows they can see his name." Rockshot, I call him Rockshot. Says he has both of the books, right?
All
He has
right.
both of the books. All right, now, yeah.
Great.
Painting. He said somebody was singing in the church, being a mother and a grandma. I don't know who Ronell was talking about. Telling somebody's business.
Yeah,
Telling
so
somebody's business.
everything, right?
So, before we go for it, um, Heather, people was going to say she could, no way possible she could do all of that. Now we're going to show the clip from your upcoming project in a minute. But can you share a verse? Because this is All Verse Thursdays.
Yeah, I'll be happy to share a verse.
All
One
right.
of the ones that's informed my life.
Okay.
Is I think people will know what it is. Isaiah 40:31.
Okay.
They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings of eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And that's the King James Version.
Also, yeah, that actually is a verse, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
One of the
running
verses.
and not be weary,
Mhm.
walking
That's it.
and not faint. So that being said, right, and Heather's got a lot of. You can find out how to contact her down below. It's going across the bottom. Um, this is All Verse Thursdays, and so we appreciate you all being on. We've got people watching us on Twitch. We've got people on YouTube. There's people on Facebook, and so a lot of folks will see the replay, right? And so we always want to leave them with not only good verses as we've done so far. We're going to give them some more, but also a story around the purpose, right? And because we know that even though it feels like many times we're the only ones that use Felicia's FG's words, that's gone off the rail, right? Or that things didn't work out as we thought they were going to work out, that we aren't. The reality is we aren't. We aren't by ourselves. And so we also want to take some time to maybe share something that may inspire, that may help. And so I want to get into a little bit of Daughters of the Great Migration. First of all, what the heck does that even mean? Right? And why is that important? And I don't say that in jest because a lot of folks listen. They might be saying that. Why should I listen to this? Why is that important? So whoever wants to jump in with that, Daughters of the, what is it? Why is that important? And then we could get to the next question after that.
Well, I think if Felicia doesn't mind, I think I would start because I named it that way. We did a presentation together years ago at Michigan State University of that title. What happened is as we got to know each other over the years, we realized how many commonalities we had, namely with the city of Inkster, that our parents, my father grew up there. It's a community just outside of Detroit. And it was where Henry Ford built his other auto industry just for Black workers, another community for them to live in. Long story short, we realized both of our families had come up from the South. And we had so many common benchmarks in our lives in terms of what's happened because of our families taking that, I guess I would say, risk or venturing north for greater opportunities. And we both talked about how our opportunities were better up here. It wasn't perfect, but we were given an opportunity that we probably never would have had if our parents hadn't left the South. Your listeners probably know the Great Migration took place from roughly the early 1900s up to 1975. There were two migrations, but it was when a mass number of African Americans moved north for great opportunities, mainly the auto industry. Felicia, you want to add? Yeah.
Right. And safety. So a lot of, a lot of what we talk about now in terms of physical threats, in terms of the stresses that we have being African Americans in this country, are nowhere near what our parents had to endure or our grandparents. And it was partly that pressure as well as the economic opportunities that drove them north and allowed us to do a lot of the things that we're doing right now.
Yeah. So you all hit on a thing that's really been wrestling in my spirit, right? And so we learned about the Reconstruction period. When I was fortunate, I had a Black history when I was in elementary school, thanks to my teacher, rest in peace, Miss Pye. But every year we dedicated a month, right? That like we're only school. Everybody has a Black History Month, but we had to do presentations during that month, and you had to pick a person, you had to emulate it. So I learned a lot around a lot of different persons in the Black history, but in particular, what stood out to me was the Reconstruction period, right? Post-slavery, let's call it Jim Crow happenings. And there was a period when Blacks were doing really, really well. I mean, you got Black, particularly in the Midwest. You told you right, talking about the Great Migration, yes. I mean, you had millionaires in Detroit. You had Madam C.J. Walker. You know, she was just making her way all around the Midwest, living next to one of the richest men in the world. You had Black businesses everywhere. And, you know, like for me, my name is Christmas. And so the Christmases were originally in St. Louis. Right. And see, I didn't learn that they had race riots in the early 1900s. So in early 1900s, they had the race riots, and a couple of my ancestors was passing for others, right? Because they had a butcher shop and they had done well. Man, they took the people's monies from the bank, they burnt their businesses and ran them out of town. And so you talk about the Great Migration, as folks were coming up, there was a time when it was really well, then it got really bad. And I don't know that it's actually significantly better since then.
Well, it is important to remember that rights are fluid. It matters who's on the court. And, you know, when you go back to Taney's decision in the Dred Scott case, if you look at Plessy versus Ferguson, those people who were appointed by those other people who got elected made decisions that affected our lives for over 100 years. We're still trying to fix the decisions that were made by those justices at that time.
Yeah.
Right? So when people talk about you know, it doesn't matter who's in office, it's not important that I vote. It's very important.
It's very important.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, Niyah Center presents ALLVERSE Thursdays. You never know what we're going to talk about here in the verse. I know we did a pre-show, and this was not on the agenda. I know it wasn't, and it is appropriate. So thank you for going along with it. The Niyah Center presents ALLVERSE Thursday, Sacred Space Sunday. We're a program. We're all about intent and purpose. We're a social enterprise. We need your support. And so, you know, you can follow us. Support looks like a lot of ways, right? Yes, saying a prayer. Absolutely. We'll take all of those. We'll take them in spades, right? We'll take donations. We'll take your follow on the Facebook. We'll take following us on Twitch. Whatever it is, support us so we can bring you more important programs. Now, let's just hit a couple of comments. And then, Felicia, I want to, if you would be prepared to come with a verse, and then Heather, I'm going to hit your preview. Okay? So one lady, Sonia, says that's why her mother left New Orleans. Yeah. I think that's what NOLA is, New Orleans, right? Safety. The Great Migration. 6 million. Okay.
Here's the information. Yes.
Yeah.
1916. Yes.
Yes, absolutely, Rockshot. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Now that's some history there. Now, some people may be familiar with this, but I think some may not, right? And this is not, you know, we're a judgment-free show, so it's not a beat-up. You're welcome, Sonia, absolutely. This is not a beat-up. And, like, knowing our history is one thing. Changing our history is another. But let me stop. Felicia, let us hear another piece.
All right, then. I am working on a novel, my first, and so you look for that next year. The title is Formed from Red Clay, and this is actually my first reading of this poem, which opens and closes that story. And the dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Ecclesiastes 12:17. One day these kinky, coily curls will frame my face sparsely, white and fine, my life red in my veins like Sanskrit through parchment thin skin. My cheeks, nose, mouth will sit a half-inch lower than now, and my story will seep soft through thinned lips. Then some will ask about it, the last leg of my watch. And I'll have to say that by then, I'd watched everything die in concept, from babies to old ladies, from holy men to hustlers. Every smile that ever raised goosebumps on my skin struck down. I'd seen so much death no longer made my heart jump, neither the children nor the women, the accidents or the intentionals. They will ask why so long, and I will say because coral was formed from red clay.
That's that piece.
That's that piece.
Yes. Coral was formed from red clay. Now, we're going to bring Heather back in a second. But before we bring her in, because I want to speak onto this, and her clip kind of, I think, speaks to it without me giving it away. We talked about safety. You talked about the communities where safety was a reason, one of the reasons that some of these communities were formed. But then we started doing some assimilating, right? And then that had a whole nother effect on our community. So I don't know what this movie is fully about, and I don't want to tell what I saw in the preview. But let me just go ahead and play the clip. All right? Let me play it, and Heather, we'll bring you back on as we play the clip.
One cannot deny that when we are faced with trouble, we look for some kind of solution inside ourselves. We often find ourselves searching for all the answers, even before it's time to ask the right question. We search for something tangible, something we can anchor ourselves to. But the human mind cannot predict human nature. It can't solve human emotion. Death, love, hate, fear. There are no justifications for it. The unpredictable nature of every single moment we face makes it impossible to be predictable. There is simply and only life. And as unpredictable as that is, you see, we carry all of our weight and our issues as if they're cheat sheets to life, as if being reminded of our flaws and mishaps will shield us from making the same mistakes over and over again. Monkeys on the back, skeletons in the closet, they become a part of the terrestrial fabric that is etched into the very fiber of our beings. These are things that mold us, yet we run away from them. We try to avoid our memories of them until we reach our end, where we find them again, waiting for us. The timing of death, like the ending of a story, gives a changed meaning to what preceded it. The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Yet, who shall say where one ends and where the other begins? We spend so much time trying to run from the notion of death. But you see, I would rather die a meaningful death than to live a meaningless life.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Tell us the name of that. Where can people find it? And then we're going to jump back into it. I'm going to bring Felicia in as well. What is that that we just saw?
Oh, the film is called Solomon, and it was filmed in Detroit, and that's what makes it extra special. It has a multicultural cast, as you can see, and it highlights the city. The city itself is actually a character in the story. And it's been quite a labor of love. Two young brothers who graduated from U of M together. They were in the marching band. And one of them had a dream of starting a movie company, and one had a script that he had been working on. And then I came into the picture as a producer, and it's just been one of the best experiences of my life. Right now, the film has won several awards, including Best Drama in the Detroit Black Film Awards, and it's won several other awards, and it's been screened across the country. So right now, it's just been signed with the distributor, so we'll know soon where it will be, playing. So we'll definitely follow back up with you and check in and let you know, and your followers know where they can see it very soon.
Awesome. So tell me this is from the preview, and I want to get to this because you talked about corals made from red clay. We talked about we came up here, we migrated, we were together, we started assimilating. So I'm going to show you where I'm going with this. In the preview, what I saw was a man maybe was married. He had maybe something else going on, and then there's something else he had going on became the next focus of his life. The lady who he had something else going on with, father, embraced him, but then he had some difficulties happen, and it was an interracial kind of thing. Did we hit it?
Yeah, you hit most of it. The young man, he suffers a really great loss. Yes.
The young man suffers a great loss.
Yeah, he suffers a big loss on 2 or 3 fronts. And he ends up, as part of his court appointed punishment, well, not punishment, but rehabilitation, he had to take sessions with the elder gentleman who's a retired psychiatrist.
So it's not a love triangle thing then.
No.
See?
Not at all.
Thank you. Hey, Matt Bowman said that was incredible.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, it's a story about love, loss, redemption, and racial tension in the city, the history of Detroit itself, really. So it's really it covers a lot of things that are relevant to today.
I saw it and I loved it, and I would definitely add hope, because
thank you so much. And that's what we want to impart to viewers also. Sure.
Okay. Hope. That's interesting, because hope, when you don't have much, that might be all that you have, right?
That's right. That's right.
And you got to still be in action. So let's talk about hope. Since you brought hope up, nice clip. Nubian Summer says nice clip.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's your family. They were shouting.
Hello, Summer. Yes, my family.
Yeah, we love you. For your niece and nephews.
Hello to my niece and nephews, Izzy, Noah, and Tyler. I told them I'm going to be on Twitch. Auntie's going to be on Twitch. They were like, "Oh, you're going to be gaming?"
That's where they are. Yeah,
you're going to be gaming. I said, "No, I'm going to be talking about creativity." They were like, "Okay."
Yeah, go ahead. Nubian Summer, show them some of the emotes we have on Twitch. What they missing out on? I'll put them up on the screen. Show what they're missing out on by just being on the Facebook, on the YouTube. You can tell I dated myself. Here you go. Boom. Some of the emotes got purple hearts and say love, and we got a couple other things. But no, hope. Let's.
Yeah.
I think about my hope was built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. That's when I first heard that song. And I didn't know what it meant. They sang it. I would be like, man, why they keep singing that? That's another one of the emotes. Thank you, Nubian Summer. Why they keep playing why we keep singing this song? So, FG, tell me about a time when your hope was built on nothing less.
Oh, so many.
and what you did, and what you did, right? What you did to come forward from that.
So I had a very difficult loss in college. Beginning of my senior year, my father passed. And it was not unexpected, because he'd spent that summer ill, but we thought he was recovering. So it was unexpected in that the day we expected him to get out of the hospital, he passed. I had just gone back to school and registered for classes. Classes had not even begun yet. And so I had to come back for my father's funeral. And going back to school was one of the hardest things that I had to do, because I know it was a difficult time for my mother, who just lost her husband, my brother, who just lost his father, and I had a daughter when I was in school. So I was pregnant at 15. So my parents had taken care of my daughter while I was away at school. And just to think about leaving them behind in that loss so that I could finish school. It was a very, very difficult semester. I barely passed that term, but it was necessary. And it was a lot of prayer and a lot of just really putting one foot in front of the other to make it happen.
We're gonna come back to that one foot in front of the other. And thank you for sharing that. And sorry for your loss. I can feel your energy and your emotion. And thank you for sharing that. Heather, let's add to this, and then we want to go somewhere else with this conversation.
Yeah,
Stay
I
with
could.
it. Yeah.
So there again, Felicia and my connections are just they just go on forever. I was a junior in college, and my mother got very sick. She ended up surviving that, but later she succumbed to a lot of a lot of terrible things happened. But it was this moment of feeling like, can I go on with school? And I didn't want, and then I didn't go away to grad school because I knew I just couldn't leave my family. I stayed. So I just wanted to comment on that right quick. But yeah, and it all goes back to just love of family, and what they mean to you and what you mean to them. The choices we make.
Yeah. So there's times, and Felicia, you told the story about getting off the rail. We talked about having terrible things happen, not knowing. I mean, I can't imagine being 15. Now you look back, I'm a college graduate. I'm a multiple produced, published author. I'm a genius, regardless of all the stories of what I may have said about who I am or what I am. Right. And there's just there's a piece of inspiration and hope that I draw from your story. So thank you for sharing that. Right. Thank you for like allowing us to be with you in a way. And I think Ronell hit it on the head, that to allow God to be seen through your words and your experiences. Because that's what this is all about. No, I didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. And I know Sonia very well. Right. I know her very, very well. Yeah, we talked about this in the pre-show, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this in the pre-show. You never know.
Right.
Your story is going to touch, right? And we get to trust it. And that's why I don't think there is a show like this. All Verse Thursdays, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. All verses are welcome. And these are the stories, the rhythms, and the rhyme. See, the rhythm and the rhyme tonight is in the heart. This is a soul rhythm. A soul. I mean, I can hear the music because I could feel it on the inside, right? I could feel it in your words. I could feel it in your uncried tears. But I'm not the guest tonight, right? All right. yes, I'm not the.
Thank you,
thank you, Sonia.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a poem for us, right, Heather?
Well, actually, I have. If you can play that clip, because that is kind of the poem set to music.
Okay, so
it kind of fits with the message because it's called
set to music. Okay, so let's play a bit of this. But then what I want to do is, we're gonna set it up. We're gonna tee it up. What I want to do is a collaboration. We got to do our all verse. It's 8:50. We got to do so we're gonna play a bit of that, right? Now, do you want to share a live piece with us as well?
No, I'll just because it really speaks to what I wanted to say.
All right, so we're gonna start with her. Okay. Right, Heather's gonna be the first.
just very quickly to introduce it, the message,
Uh-huh.
it's called Go On Son, but it applies to anybody facing adversity. And
Now,
it's,
Heather, you're not supposed to introduce in this part of the show.
okay.
You're not supposed to
We're ready.
introduce, get a title. You just do the thing and you say that's that piece. Now,
There you go.
I will give you some deference, right? Because you've been doing this for 21 years. So go ahead, but I just want to let folks know. And that's just how I am.
Oh yeah, no, that was it. I just wanted to make sure because I just provided it, a short while ago, so I wanted to make sure the sound was good, that they could hear the lyrics, so they would know what it was
Tell
about.
them what it's about. Go ahead. Give us.
Oh no, that was
give
it.
us some
About
perspective
going
around
on.
this collaboration, because I tell them what your spirit says, and then we'll get ready to share it.
It's about faith in the face of adversity.
Okay. Face and so then I'll be so Heather will be first, and then we'll come to Felicia, and Felicia, when you finish, will come to me. We'll say that's that piece. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, Heather, you're not actually singing, but you wrote this, right?
No, I wrote the verses.
All
yes.
right. Okay. So let's go, y'all. That's that piece.
Go on when the world ain't right. Go on, son, make a way. Go on when you lost the fight. Tomorrow will be a better day. Go on, son, and keep the faith. Go on, you win the fight. Go on, though it seems real dark. God will lead you to the light. Go on, son, go on. Go on, son, go on. When the going gets tough, you got to go on, yeah. I know the path is hard right now. The past, it won't let you go. Listen, but I'm here to tell you, the Lord ain't forgot you. He's fixing it for you. Don't you know? Oh, yeah.
That's that piece, y'all.
Yeah, that's the demo for it.
Once when I was very young, I asked my mother about the song she sung. They were filled with hope and praise and spoke of a mighty grace. Amazing grace. I'd ask how she'd end each day falling on her knees to pray. That's that piece.
Ooh.
Nice.
Do you want the truth? But you belong to God, my dear children. See, you have already won a victory over those people because the spirit who lives in you is greater than the spirit who lives in the world. See, I pray that the spirit of truth guide me. Let my communication be bold and honest and loving. I pray that the point of view I share be of God and not of the world. Lord, help me to be truthful in all of my interactions with people. Let me not feel compelled to say what I think will be pleasing to them. Right? See, I pray that you not allow my ears to be deceived during ventilation. Grant me the temperance and patience when the world's point of view is widely accepted and touted as the truth versus the message that you would have me receive. I belong to you, and I know those who belong to you will know the truth. Thank you for your spirit of truth. Truth be told, just tell me the truth. Go ahead, let it loose. I don't have no time for lies, even those white ones in your eyes. I need to hear it raw and uncut. I need the words frank and upfront. You want the truth? Are you sure you're ready? It ain't no joke. These words are heavy. Okay, here it comes. You better take a seat. Because when I share it with you, it might knock you off your feet. Truth be told, is not what you think. The here and now is like water in the sink. It will soon be gone, yet more will come. When it's all said and done, there'll be another rising of the sun. We will be accountable for all that we have done and said. The sins of our heart will be charged to our head. So in your life, when choices you face, pray for mercy and guidance and thank God for his saving grace. That's that piece, y'all.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's that piece, y'all. That's a staple of all verse Thursdays. We do a collaboration. All verses are welcome. We got all big shots. The Niyah Center, more emotes out there. Rynell Bright, he done made the switch. He made the switch too. Made the switch to Twitch. Thanks, Rock. Thanks, y'all. Kapow. No, that was that. I love the way it all wove together. What y'all think?
I like it.
Yes.
I like that. Fed each other. That's good.
Yeah.
Keep my sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the hour goes so quickly.
Yes.
Snap, y'all. Okay, thank you, baby. Thank you. Niyah Center, thank you for all verse Thursday. Yes, so the Niyah Center, this is one of our programs. We do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This Sunday, November the 1st. Yeah, it's a lot happening this week. So for those that don't know, Halloween is October 31st, right? They know that, right? It is also the full moon called the Hunter's Moon, right? It's also a blue moon, and it's also the day before before Sacred Space Sunday. So Sacred Space Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday is sure to be an exciting program. I just want to say thank you to my guest, FG Studstill. I'm so glad to have you on the show tonight. Thank you for sharing your book. And once again, Never Much for Small Talk.
It's available on Amazon.
Available. And how else can they get in touch with you? Right? How can they get in touch with you? How else can folks get in touch with you, FG, if they want to book you or they want to do something with you? How can they get in touch with you?
Again, books on Amazon. Get it out. Have better equipment next time. And you can reach me at fgstudstill@gmail.com.
Awesome. I want to say thank you to award-winning publisher, producer, movie maker, historian, humanitarian, move maker and shaker. Also, I do have one more thing for y'all. Also, let me just show this. Y'all just bear with me. I know my wife is like, what are you doing? That is not quality production. I'm doing the best I can. With producing on my own. And I love you, but I know you're not saying that. I'm just being funny. But this is a great way to just give you a little flavor for what we've already seen tonight, right? What we've already seen tonight.
Thank you.
Border City Podcast. I'm your host, Heather Buchanan.
I love it. Heather Buchanan. Thank you. Now look. Oh, let me stop. They jumping into your podcast. So, Heather, would you be willing to come back on the show and tell people around? I know it's a lot of folks that want to understand around publishing, self-publishing. Do I go with a publisher? How do I get with a publisher? If I do it on my own, what are the pros and cons? Would you be willing to come back and do a show for some of the artists that want to hear about that?
Yes, I'd be happy to do that.
Awesome. And we'd love to have you. Rock Shot, he says, shout out to ALLVERSE. That's the Florida A&M outside. 35th luau. Yes, that is also on October 31st. It is also, and yes, I am presenting a little talk, a short talk, but it's mostly going to party, y'all. So I'm not there to preach, but but I will share a good word.
At least
Thank
I
you.
talked about that.
Right. Now, for those that don't know about the Capitol, I just give them real quick because we overtime right now. But thank you. Karen St. Anne, thank you. She says, thank you for sharing your stories. FG Studstill. Thank you for the follow, Nubian Summer. We really appreciate you. This was not possible without the two of you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate you, how grateful I am. I cannot wait for the what's next.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
know
Thank you.
there is a powerful what's next coming. And again, let me just put up, Heather, your sites. Folks want to, they can find you at any one of these sites. I've looked at all of them, and she's got them
Oh,
really
thank
well orchestrated. You click a button, it's going to take you to Heather. You're no more than one click away from Heather on any website. I promise you. You go to IMDb, you go to Aux Media, it doesn't make a difference. You're about 1 to 2 clicks away from how to contact Heather. It's very well
Oh,
done,
thank you.
and the lineup of authors that you had on the website sounds like they've got some phenomenal things. The podcast that you do, we would just want to say congratulations and thank you for all of
Thank
your
you so much.
contributions. Right, Daughters of the Great Migration, y'all. Daughters
Yes.
of the Great Migration. What a show! What a show! Last comments. Thank you, Felicia and Heather. Niyah Center, FAMU, Rattlers in the house. Yes. We love you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.